Once upon a time, a farmer planted a field of bamboo. At first, the shoots grew tall and straight, reaching proudly toward the sky. The farmer walked among them, admiring his healthy crop. He noticed that the younger bamboo stood stiff and upright, while the older bamboo bent low, their tops bowing toward the ground. One day the farmer's son asked, "Father, why do the tall bamboo bow down instead of standing proudly like the young ones?" The farmer smiled and said, "The young bamboo are still empty inside, so they stand tall in arrogance. But as bamboo grows, it fills with strength and becomes heavy with value. That is why the older bamboo bend humbly, for they know their worth." The boy thought about this for a while and then nodded. From then on, whenever he saw proud people who looked down on others, he remembered his father's words in the bending bamboo. There was a king who lived in a palace made of precious stones. It sparkled and shone, and the king loved to show it off to anyone who visited. One day a wise man came to see the king. He, too, was amazed by the palace. "Your Majesty," he said, "you have a beautiful palace. It must be very hard to find such precious stones to build it." The king smiled proudly and said, "These stones were given to me by the people as a gift. They bring me great wealth and power. Look how high my towers reach. They touch the clouds. If I had a palace twice as tall, the clouds would touch me." The wise man nodded and stayed in the palace as a guest for many days. The king boasted and showed off his treasures, but the wise man didn't even look at them. Finally, the king asked, "You have been here for many days, but why don't you look at my treasures, or at least take a look at my tall towers?" The wise man replied, "Your Majesty, you may have built your palace very high, but there are people who are even taller than your towers. And as for your treasures, I don't need precious stones to make me rich. I don't need gold or silver. All I need is the sun, the moon, and the stars up there in the sky, for they belong to all people. No one can take them away. But your palace is different. It is made of stones that can be taken away. One day you will lose all your wealth, and your tall towers will come crashing down." Hearing these words, the king felt ashamed. The wise man was right. How could he have been so arrogant? He welcomed the wise man and gifted him with robes and a golden staff. From that day on, the king became a humble man and always remembered the words of the wise man and the bending bamboo. That is the end of the story. Once upon a time, not too long ago, there were two tiny seeds lying side by side in the warm soil. One spring morning, the first seed whispered to its friend, "I want to grow. I want to push my roots deep into the earth and send my shoots toward the sun. I want to feel the rain on my leaves and the wind on my face. I want to grow tall and strong." And with that, it sprouted. The second seed said, "I am afraid. If I send my roots down, I don't know what lies in the dark. I push up, a small plant might eat me. If I bloom, children might pick my flowers. It is safer to stay here in the soil." The second seed remained where it was, doing nothing. A few days went by, and a hungry chicken happened to walk by. It scratched at the ground and dug up the second seed and ate it. Meanwhile, the first seed had grown into a tall green plant. It reached up toward the sunlight and felt the soft breeze on its leaves. It made new friends, the birds who sang in its branches and the bees who sipped its sweet nectar. The plant grew strong and beautiful. One day, a little girl came by. She looked up at the plant and said, "What a beautiful sunflower you are. I'd like to pick you and take you home." The sunflower knew that if she said yes, the little girl would pick her and take her home. But the sunflower also knew that if she said no, the little girl would only pick one of her sisters. So the sunflower took a deep breath and said, "Please pick me." The little girl took the sunflower home and put it in a vase. She enjoyed looking at it for a few days, but then she got bored and threw the sunflower in the trash. And that's where our story ends. Now, some might say the sunflower was a fool to get picked, but I don't think so. See, the sunflower didn't have the option to stay in the vase. That wasn't an option. So she chose to be picked, knowing that even if she got thrown away, her seeds would fall on the ground and start new sunflowers. And that's the meaning of our story. Growth always carries danger, but refusing to take risks means losing the chance to live it all. Those who dare to grow may face challenges, but they also discover the sunlight.